Hello everyone. In our last classes, we have discussed what is chemical reaction and what is chemical equation. And we have already learned how to balance the chemical equation. Okay. In this class, we are going to discuss one more important topic, making chemical equation more informative. Right? Then, here in a chemical reaction, we have a reactants and products, right? Then left side of the arrow mark, the reactants will be, and head of the arrow can shows the product. Got it? These are reactants and these are products. Here, how the given equation more informative means, we will use the substances are may in solid in state, liquid in state and gaseous in state. Okay, may we use solids, liquids and gases. In a chemical equation, in a product side and as well as reactant side, we have to mention the given substances or a solid or liquid or gas. Okay, may we have three types of substances, right? Either solids or either in liquid in state or either in gaseous in state, right? Or gases. Solids and liquids and gases are mentioned in the chemical equation by a notation. Okay, and a simple symbol we will use to represent given substance is a solid or liquid or gas. Okay, so solids can designated with S. The notation of solid is S, liquids L and gases G. Starting letters we will use S, L, G. Here in the first equation, this is solid S. Here we have written S. We have to write then solid or liquid or gases. We have to mention near the subscript. Near the subscript. Okay. Then solid. Why? Because if we keep the S either here or either here, it may change the composition. Right. So we have to write, we have to designate the state of the substance with if it is a solid, we have to designate it with S. If it is a liquid in state, we have to designate with L. If it is a gaseous in state, we have to designate it with a G. Right, as a subscript. Where we have to write as subscript, near the subscript. Okay, right, near the subscript here. Okay, Fe2O3. Here 3 is subscript now. Then after that S. Then S, in the sense here in a given example, this product, this reactant, this is in solid in state, and here aluminum is also in solid in state. After we got a product, that products also in solid in state. Okay, solid that we get. Okay, and here the zinc, solid in state, right? And H2SO4, sulfuric acid is here. I have written AQ, aqueous. Then if the substances are present as in a solution in water, okay, that word is called as aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means the substances present as a solution in water. That solution made by the water. Most of the quantity present water. So that's why that is called as aqueous. Word we use it to represent that aqueous. Then aqueous symbol is AQ. Notation is AQ. Got it? If here it given AQ, if we use this symbol, that substance present as a solution in water. That easy to understand, right? Then sulfuric acid AQ and zinc sulfate AQ and hydrogen gases right? G. And here carbon, solid in state, oxygen, gases in state, carbon dioxide, gas in state, right? Here G and nitric oxide is also gases in state, right? Okay, then like that here aqueous silver nitrate, okay, then here sodium chloride, here, and these all are aqueous solution, solid, aqueous, and gaseous, liquid, and solid in state and gases in state, like that, right? While mentioning these notation shows that given substance, given reactant or product is in solid in state or liquid in state, we may understand. Here we have examples, right? Got it. And heat changes, we discussed already. Some of the chemical reactions are exothermic, right? Exothermic means heat liberated, right? And some of the reactions are endothermic, okay. Some of the reactions are endothermic, means they absorb, okay. Some of the reactions are exothermic reactions, that means while chemical reaction takes places, the heat is releases, heat is evolved while chemical reaction takes place, okay, right. And some of the reactions are endothermic reactions. To the reaction to take place, the reaction, then here we have to give some heat, got it, right? Here the plus Q in a chemical reaction, carbon, here carbon is burns in the presence of oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide and as well as it produces the heat, okay, right? In a chemical reactions, endothermic reactions are designated with plus Q, right? Like this here, plus Q. Plus Q means along with the product, along with the new substance, heat is also releases, heat is also evolves. In endothermic reactions, we designated with the minus Q, we use minus Q, then that designates, then heat is absorbed, okay. Minus Q, here plus Q shows the heat is releases out, here heat is absorbed, got it. This is one more. Second one. Third one is gas evolved. Gas evolved, either the gas evolved we designated with the G, okay, or otherwise upward arrow. What is it? Upward arrow. Then the releases out, okay. Then in the reaction we may use here upward arrow or gas. Either you can designate it with the G or either with the upward arrow, okay, whatever it, either sir I will use only G, okay, no problem, sir I will use upward arrow, okay, whatever it may be, the gas is evolved in a given chemical reaction, we have to designate it with either G or otherwise upward arrow mark, okay, right. Next, we have already discussed, while the chemical reaction takes place, sometimes the solid substance is also formed, right? In aqueous solution, in a solution we get some liquid state form in a product and we will get some solid particles, right? That is called precipitate. Yesterday we discussed that. Here also silver nitrate plus sodium chloride gives silver chloride, right? Then here this is precipitate. In case of precipitate, we have to designate it with a downward arrow. What? We have to designate it with a downward arrow. We will use downward arrow. Why? Because then precipitate is always forms at the bottom of the container. Got it? Right? Then this is one of the then while using these four steps, we can make it the given equation is more informative. And sometimes the condition of the chemical reaction takes place by the temperature, in the presence of temperatures or pressure and catalyst, right? If there are any such kind of excessive extra conditions, they may mention on the arrow mark upward and downward. Sunlight, then here carbon dioxide and water reacts and gives, this is what you know, the C6H12O6, right, and oxygen. This chemical reaction takes place in the presence of sunlight, and chlorophyll is present in the leaves of the plants. Okay, right. Then this is, then if there are any this such kind of conditions, we will write in the on the arrow mark. Got it? This, by using of these steps, the given chemical equation, we can make it into more informative. Okay, right. The next we are going to discuss one more important topic along with this. Okay. Okay, then from a chemical equation we get many informations, right, like the given which are the products, which are reactants, and as well as then the given product is solid or liquid or gaseous state, given product may it is a liquid or gas or precipitate, that we can able to learn. Not only that, we can able to find the relative masses of product and reactants by from a given balanced equation, right. Here we have one example. Okay, from this example, and here he has given one question also. Calculate the amount of aluminum required to get 1120 kg of iron, right. How we will find? Then this topic is very important. You may get for 2 mark question in annual examination. Okay, right. First of all, then this is the equation Al. This you consider as a what a question, and Fe2O3 and gives Al2O3 plus Fe. First of all, the given equation is balanced or not, that we have to test it, right. Now first we will make it as a balanced one. Al only 1, here 2, oxygen is satisfied, here 2 irons, then here we have only 1. Then now we have to make it as a balanced one. Then Al2, right, here only 1 now, then I will write it. Now it is satisfied. Al2, O3, O3, Fe2, then here I will write 2. Now the chemical equation is balanced. In a given example, first we have to test it, then whether the given equation is balanced or not. Okay, now it is balanced, right. Okay, then after I have to make it as more informative now. Then given reactants and products or solid in state or liquid in state or gases in state, that we have to mention it, right. Aluminum solid in state, this is also in solid in state, right, solid in state. Now the given equation is balanced and more informative, right. Here we are going to discuss, right, what is the, now I am going to find the reactant side and product side, what are their masses, right. Then atomic mass of, we know that atomic mass of aluminum is 27, okay, and iron 56, and oxygen is 16. We know the atomic masses. Now I am going to find the mass of the products, reactants, and as well as mass of the products, right. 2 aluminums, no, 2 into what is its mass, 27, right, plus Fe, 2 Fe, right. So 2 into 56 plus 3 O3 means 3 oxygen atoms mass, right, into 16, right. Here aluminum 2 into 27 plus O3, 3 into 16, okay, right, 3 into 16 U plus 2 into iron 56 into 56. You have to multiply. 227s are 54, right, plus 256 are 112 plus 316s are 48. Here 227s are 54 plus 316s are 48 plus, okay, 256 are 112, got it, then 54 U plus, then 112 plus 48, 160, got it, 120, 160 gives, right, here 48 and 50, 102 plus 112. Then once see the total mass is, then 160 plus 54, then 214 unified mass, here also 214 unified mass. Then what I said, then now it is balanced or not, in balanced equation, then mass of the product is equal to mass of the reactants, right. This is in uniform mass, right. Now we can able to express it in moles also, right. Then here 2 moles plus, right, 2 moles of, then I will write clearly, right, 2 moles and 1 mole gives the chemical equation, then chemical formula is a unit that taken as 1 mole, right, 2 Fe, Fe is 1, then 2 are there, no, then 2 moles, that means here gives this, and this we can able to express in molar mass also, right, in mass, then how much, 54 grams plus 160 grams, 102 grams plus 112 grams, got it, right. Then in a chemical equation we can express it in a uniform mass, unified mass or molar mass, and in moles also, okay. In all the cases there should be, here in a product side 3 moles, 2 plus 1 3 moles, in reactant side 3 moles, and a product side also 3 moles, then it is balanced or not, right, okay. Then from this equation, from this now we have to find what he has given in the question, calculate the amount of aluminum required to get then 1120 kg of iron. Here I need 1120 kgs of iron, right. To get that, how much aluminum I require? Then here from the given equation we came to know that then 54 grams of aluminum is gives 112 grams of iron, right, okay. In a balanced equation, from above equation we came to know that then if I use 54 grams of aluminum, we get then 112 grams of iron. In this case, how much quantity of iron I required? 1120 kgs, okay, of iron I required. To get this amount of iron, then how much quantity of aluminum we should take it, right, to get product as 1120 kgs of iron, then how much quantity of aluminum we required, that we are going to find out, right? Here you can take it, let x, we don't know the weight, no, then x. Then here by cross multiplication, here we get from cross multiplication x, then 112 into x equal to 54 into, this is in kgs, remaining all products are in grams, remaining all quantities are in grams, only this in kgs. So here we have to convert this 1120 kgs also into grams. Okay, then how we will convert, sir? Very simple, we have to multiply it with 1000. Got it? Now it becomes converts into the grams, right? Next I want x value, no, then x equal to, right, 54 into 1120 into 1000, right, by 1112. Here multiplying, if you will take this side, it divides to 112 1 ja, 112 10 ja. Got it? Then x equal to, then 54 into 10 into 1000, 10,000, that means 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 zeros, no, then here we have to take 4 zeros, this is in grams, right? To get, then here he is asked in kgs, no, then again answer we should convert into the kgs. Then how we will convert, sir? Divide it with 1000, then that means x equal to, then 540 kgs. Have understood or not? Okay, then to get 1120 kgs of iron, we required 540 kgs of aluminum. Okay, this we can able to find with this equation, right? First we are, before going to find the solution, before going to find the quantity of aluminum or any atom which are given in our question, first we have to check it into then given equation is in balanced or not. After that we have to follow these all the steps. Okay, right? Then finally here the question is asked in kgs, no, then final answer also we should be write in same units. Kgs he asked in kgs, no, then we have to give answer also in kgs, right? Got it? Then next I will give one more example. Okay, right, here one more example. Here calculate the mass, volume, number of molecules, right? Then that we are going to find. That means from a given equation we get a mass and mass relationship, and a mass and volume relationship, volume and volume relationship, and mass, volume and number of molecules relationship also, right? Then here first what we have to do, given equation is balanced or not, that we have to check it, right? Then see here Na, now here I will make it as a balanced one. Sodium OH plus H2, then here see here only 2 hydrogen atoms, here we have 3 hydrogen atoms, then I will write here 2. So now again 4 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms, here we get only 1 oxygen atom, no? Then here I will write again 2. Okay, right? Then now it says 4 hydrogen atoms, so 2 plus 2, 4 hydrogens, and 2 oxygens, but sodium is 2, then here we have to write 2. Now it is balanced. Got it? First one. Next, then given this is solid, water is liquid, and sodium hydroxide I will get in aqueous, right? And this is gas. Okay, then 2 steps completed. Next here I am going to find their mass is product side and as well as reactant side. We know the atomic masses of sodium is 23 inferred moles, right? And hydrogens is 1, okay, atomic mass, and oxygens atomic mass, we know that 16, 23, 1, 16, okay, right. Then here I am going to find the mass. 2 sodium atoms, no? Then that's why we should take 2, right? And sodium's mass into 23, okay, plus 2 into 2, 4, that means 4 into 1, 4 hydrogen atoms, no? Then hydrogen atoms mass 1, right? Then here plus oxygen, 2 oxygens, right? Then 2 into 16, okay, gives rise to 2 into sodiums 23 plus oxygen, 2 oxygens, then 2 into 16, right, and 1 hydrogen, sorry, 2 hydrogens plus 2 into 1 plus hydrogen gas, that means 2 hydrogen atoms, no, 2 into 1, okay, right. 2 23s are 46 u plus 4 1s are 4 plus 2 16 are 32 u, right. Then 46 plus 32 plus 2 plus 2, right. Then 46 plus 36, 4 plus 32, 36, and gives 46, then 2, 4, 10, 1, 80 plus 2, okay, sorry, 80 plus 2, 82 product side, and here 7, 82. Now it is balanced and correct. This is in unified mass, right. Now in moles, 2 moles of sodium, here it has given 2, no, then its symbol or its formula shows equal to 1 mole, right. Then here we have coefficient is 2, no, that means 2 moles, that means 2 moles of sodium and 2 moles of water is reacted. This gives 2 moles of sodium hydroxide, okay, and nothing, then 1, that means 1 mole of hydrogen, that means in moles, right. In grams, the same unified mass is taken as in grams, then 46 grams, sorry, then 46 grams of sodium reacts with 36 grams of water and gives 80 grams of sodium hydroxide, and 1 mole equal to then 2 grams of hydrogen gas, okay. Here we got it. Then here the question is calculate the mass. Then first we are going to find the mass. What? 230 grams of sodium reacts with water, okay, right. Here 46 grams of sodium reacts with water and it liberated 2 grams of hydrogen, right, got it, 2 grams of hydrogen. When 46 grams of sodium reacts with water and it gives 2 grams of hydrogen, got it. Then in a question he asks, if I used 230 grams of sodium, if for 46 grams we are getting 2 grams of hydrogen gas, no, then if I use 230 grams, then how much hydrogen gas can liberate it, right. Then let you can take it as x from cross multiplication, okay, cross multiplication, 46 into x equal to 2 into 230, right? Then x equal to 2 into 230 by 46, got it? 2 1 ja, 2 23 ja, 23 1 ja, 23 10 ja. Therefore x equal to 10 grams. That means what? If 230 grams of sodium reacts with excessive of water, it gives 10 grams of hydrogen, right? Here we got it, mass. Okay, this consider as mass relationship, right? Now we are going to find mass and volume relationship. Got it? Here what I did, first I have balanced the equation and I have calculated their masses in unified mass and moles as moles and at grams, right? Okay, right? Then next we are going to find this volume relation. Okay, right? Next we are going to find out a volume, right? Now 1 gram of molar mass of any gas at STP. STP means standard temperature and pressure. Right? Then standard temperature 273 kelvins. Kelvins is the unit of temperature. Here generally we will use then degree Celsius. Temperature units are degree Celsius or Fahrenheit or Romer scale. We have a different system of units. Okay. Then here standard unit we will take only kelvins, in kelvins. Okay. Then 1 gram of molar mass of any gas at STP, that means standard temperature 273 kelvins and standard pressure at 1 bar occupies the 22.4 liters, known as gram molar volume. Gram molar volume is considered 22.4 liters at STP. That means from here we came to know that then 2 grams of hydrogen gas occupies 22.4 liters. Right? That means if 10 grams of hydrogen gas occupies equal to x liters, we don't know that, right? If 2 grams of hydrogen gas occupies 22.4 liters, right? If 10 grams of hydrogen, from where we get 10 grams are just before we find out a no, right? Then 10 grams of hydrogen gas occupies how many liters? That we are going to find. Then cross multiplication again, 2 into x equal to 10 into 22.4, that means x equal to 10 into 22.4 by 2, right? 2 1s are 2 5s are, that means 5 into 22.4, that what we will get, 5 4s are 20, 0, then 2 5 2s are 10, 12, 1, 5 2s are 10, 11, that means 112 liters. How much it occupies? 112 liters. It occupies the 112 liters if it's 10 grams. Okay, right? Next, here this volume also completed. Next we have to find number of molecules. Okay, so now number of molecules. Here we know that 1 mole of gas contains 6.02 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. Much 1 mole contains 6.02 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules, right? Here 1 mole means 2 grams, no? Right? That means 2 grams of hydrogen contains how many molecules? 6.02 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. 1 mole contains 6.0, that means 2 grams of hydrogen contains 6.2 6.02 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. That means 10 grams of hydrogen molecule contains how many number of molecules? That we are going to find. Then x, we don't know the answer, no? Then let x, right? Again cross multiplication. Okay, then 2 into x equal to 10 into 6.02 into 10 to the power of 23, right? Then x equal to 10 into 6.02 into 10 to the power of 23 by 2. 2 1s are 2 5s, right? X equal to 5 2s are 10, 0, 1, 5 0 0 1, point 5 6 are 30, 30 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules, or otherwise the x equal to 3.01 into 10 to the power of 24 molecules. Here you know that if point comes on left side, the exponent number will be increased. You have already learned in mathematics concept in lower end classes, and you know that this value is constant. This is called Avogadro's number. You have already learned in 8th and 9th standards, right? This is then this 10 grams of contains 3.01 into 10 to the power of 24 molecules. This is the way to find the problems, right? To do the problems you have to follow either in 10th class in 10th standard you will get a mass relation, or mass and volume relation, or volume relation, or mass, volume and number of molecules relation. Okay, right. Thank you. If you have any doubts, ask me in comment box. Thank you.